Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Scorpio placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Scorpio, to get started, I'm getting this message about another person in your environment. It is coming through somebody that you know. And like there's already an established relationship of some sort. And I feel like there's a bit of mirroring happening in this dynamic, but what I was getting for you, Scorpio, is that, it feels kind of like you're doing shadow work. So if this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to flip it. Just take whatever perspective feels the most relevant to you. But I'm going to just describe it in this perspective because that's what the message is that I'm receiving. So it feels like you are doing shadow work or someone in the dynamic is doing shadow work. And it feels kind of like there's an energy here of like either working through a trigger of some sort or facing your fear or doing some sort of healing that has like a trigger or a trauma attached to it. And I feel like it could have something to do with relationships, but it doesn't have to be specifically that for you. Whatever that is, there's some sort of trigger or trauma that you're working through in doing shadow work. And this other feels like they are like, just as an example to make it easier to explain, let's say you have a certain trauma or past hurt that has to do with relationships, right? Like romantic relationships or friendships or whatever. And so you're working through that trigger or trauma or whatever. And this other person potentially wants to be in a relationship with you or like wants to be like there's a friendship or whatever. Their dynamic with you is the thing that perhaps is going through a healing process for you. That's at least what they want or what their like potential is between the two of you, for example. So it's kind of like you have a particular trigger that you're working through that is directly relevant to the potential dynamic between you and this other person. So it's like as you're working through and healing this trigger, there's like someone sort of coming in to your experience. But right now they're on the outside. And I feel like there's something here where there may be a little bit of, I feel like there may be a bit of fear that's within a dynamic because I feel like on your end, Scorpio, you may have a vibration of like you're working through something. Perhaps you've closed yourself off to something. Or maybe you're just in a place where you're needing rest and quiet and solitude or whatever. And the other, perhaps energetically or whatever, spiritually, or just they have a sense that you are doing that. And so perhaps they're keeping their distance is how that's coming through. Or they themselves are also working through some sort of process in response to you doing that. Like it kind of, that's why it feels kind of like there's mirroring happening where it's like you're doing something like a healing process is how that's feeling. Which then in turn, like gets the other person to also engage in a similar healing process. And so that creates distance. And I feel like to just be patient with that process because I do think that there will be a time where you do open up again or like if this is for the other person like that the other will open up again or that kind of thing. So just be patient with that process. There may again be a bit of like fear or a fear. I want to say it's like a fear of rejection. Or like, especially if it's like it could be something like them thinking that you're busy or that you're going to be busy. And maybe you are, Scorpio, I don't know. But it's like, so they're not wanting to reach out because they think that you're going to be too busy to meet up with them or whatever. It's that kind of energy. That could also be like a self-rejection, like thinking that they don't want to take up your time, or like it's that kind of thing. Scorpio, I'm also getting that this is a very spiritual connection for you, and there may be a little bit of fear that's coming through this connection as well, because especially if it's someone that you know in the physical, like let's say you just met someone new and like you start having dreams about them, or like you have this like very intense spiritual kind of energy that connects the two of you, that can be very alarming at first, right? Like or it could be like uncomfortable, especially if it's like because we all wear masks, right? We all have certain identities and roles that we play, and so the fact that this person can see you or you can see them, or that there's like this like very strong spiritual energy that connects the two of you through all of that sort of like mask wearing, like it's like it could be a very intense experience for you and the other, and there may be fear about that happening, about like the intensity of the connection. That's also a little bit like, because it's also something where it's like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like it's that, are you feeling what I'm feeling? Do you like it's kind of feeling like that? And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. This could also be friendship, could be work related, whatever it is for you. It's like there's this fear of rejection that the other person doesn't feel the same way, or that doesn't see this connection in the same way as you do, or like vice versa, whatever it is. Anyways, Scorpio, so patience. I do feel like this is part of a healing process for you. Okay. Anima Mundi. To me, that's a card about the solar plexus. It is a creational energy, but I'm going to read it because I feel like there's something in here. This is also the world card in this deck. So the soul of the world and all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. Yeah, when light, tending to the sacred details of life. When dark, overwhelmed by the bigness of existence. This is a process of unveiling our resistance to love, to its love. Universal unity, completeness, and embrace. Yeah. I feel like you are in, because it does feel very strongly like the world energy. I feel like you're in this process of embracing wholeness is what's coming through with that, Scorpio. And of course that includes the shadow and darkness. So you may be in this process of embracing your shadow, or nourishing your shadow, or embracing darkness in whatever way that is for you. Because that is part of the unification process is what's coming through. It really is feeling like embracing wholeness and completeness. I think that there's also something here that is in doing that, because it feels like that's a very positive thing for you to be doing, Scorpio. In doing that, it's bringing somebody into your orbit, is what that's feeling like. So in embracing some aspect of your shadow, you are bringing somebody closer to you. And it feels like a significant spiritual connection in whatever way. I feel like the last Scorpio reading also had this energy of a spiritual connection. So I'll link it above. You may want to watch that one. I can't remember what that one was about, but I know that there was a spiritual connection involved in there. So you embracing your shadow is bringing somebody into your orbit. The Temple. This is a card about sacredness, becoming closer to the sacred. And you have, the underworld at the bottom of the deck, which is this energy of like diving deep into your fears, right? Like the things that we're afraid of. This is the card to me that represents like doing shadow work. A descent into the underworld, but it's feeling very positive, because it feels kind of like, it's the darkest shadow realm, which we try vigilantly to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it dangerous power. Traversing it forces us to bow humbly to the greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light amid our shadowy times. Facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. Yeah, I feel like this is something about, so when light, bravery, depth, and facing our deepest fears, that like you are accepting this process of the underworld, which is facing your deepest fears. And I feel like there is something there about, because as this card appeared, I got this image of like in Disney's Hercules, if you've seen that movie, the part where Hercules goes into the underworld to save Meg. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. And I'm kind of cautious about that energy though, because I feel it. Because I do feel like there is something here about like, maybe it is facing fears in a particular relationship. Like, so I don't know. Maybe somebody has fears in a relationship. As we all do, right? Like, I feel like that's just like part of the natural order of things. I don't know. I'm gonna get more cards though, Scorpio. I do feel like though that there is this process of acceptance, like that you're accepting or someone's accepting that fear is just a part of the process, that there is like you do have to face your fears. Sorry, nose is so itchy. Okay. Scorpio. But there is something very sacred about it, the Devil. First card out, the Devil. The devil is, so in this deck in particular, I know that all the decks have this image, right? Like most of the decks have this image of the two lovers that are kept apart. This in particular is the message that comes through with this card. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. This devil card is coming through with this message of like, there is something that is keeping two people apart. 1 second. Okay, Scorpio, I'm back. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. So, the devil is your first card out. And as I was saying, this is coming through as being like something that is keeping two people apart. And it feels kind of like fear. It could also be like a pattern of fear, like, or I don't know. The devil could be so many things. It could be, it is feeling, I don't know. It could be addiction for some of you. It doesn't have to be that. I want to be very cautious with this because I feel like it is coming through as like facing a deep fear within a dynamic that is, I want to say, because but the thing is though, like, I feel like there is this sense here that especially with the Anima Mundi card that I was reading the description of this, that all constructs of separation are dissolved. So I feel like there is something like this where it's like there may be this feeling of being separated from someone, or that like something is coming between you, or that you're just not like connecting with someone the way that you want to, but that this is also part of this because it's like very clearly the two of you are connected, right? You are connected, but there's this feeling that you're being kept apart or something like that. And I feel like the conflicting energy that's coming through is to like accept that as well, because there's something about that sort of like accepting that there are fears in this dynamic, or accepting that there's distance or something like that, that actually brings you closer together. Or that like deepens a connection in some way. Because I feel like there's something about like, there's this feeling or the perception of separation between you and another person. The world. I feel like that's coming to an end though. Like that feeling of separation, because you have the world twice. So I feel like there maybe is some sort of karmic lesson or some sort of fear aspect that is being concluded. Like it's like, because the underworld, to me, this is being the context, is telling me that that's what you're in right now. That's what you're currently in, that you're like in the underworld metaphorically, and coming out of it is what's coming through. Because it's also feeling like the scene that I was seeing is that like Hercules goes into the underworld and his life force begins to get drained. Like he starts to age, he starts to wither, and the three fates try to cut his cord, his lifeline or whatever. But because he is half god, right? Like he's a demigod, his cord, when the fates try and cut it, becomes indestructible. And he overcomes whatever it is that he was facing. Like, he overcomes death in that sense. And he becomes like this golden figure and rises from the underworld. That's the energy that I'm getting for you. That's the energy that I'm getting for you, Scorpio. So, like, and this could be within you and a dynamic. I feel like there is something here about, like, somebody is facing a tough challenge. But that is the thing that is necessary in order for you to get to the next level, or something like that. And I feel like it's completing a very tough karmic cycle for you because you've embraced wholeness is what this is coming through with. Like, embraced all parts of yourself, integrated your shadow, and are nourishing it. The High Priestess. You have 3 majors. The High Priestess. That's so interesting. This to me is coming through almost like an energy of like a healer or like a therapist or something like that. Like somebody who is very comfortable with transmuting or helping to transmute darkness, right? Like, it's like accepting the darkness or the shadow and choosing light, right? Like, that's what this energy is coming through with. So maybe that's you, Scorpio, of course, like with the moon, all this watery energy. So it could be, and this is also coming through as being like the shadow elevated is what's coming through with this, like the elevated shadow, because once, like, the shadow, of course, is a part of ourselves that develops in order to protect ourselves from harm. So there may have been a situation where you had to protect yourself. I feel like this is, and the shadow is there to assist with that. Like, it is an aspect that is very comfortable in darkness. And I feel like that's part of what this energy is coming through with for you, Scorpio. It's like understanding the sacredness of darkness and of pain and finding power in that. Like, I feel like that's like, it's like really strongly emphasizing this aspect of the elevated shadow is what's coming through here. Like, the part of yourself that knows how to protect yourself through power, like embracing your power, transmuting pain, like all of that is coming through with this High Priestess energy that knows yourself very well. And then you have the Tower. My gosh. Okay, so you have 4 majors in a row and they're all coming out very strongly. Like, this is the Tower in this deck is a card that talks to me about old patterns that are no longer serving you gets destroyed, and it clears the way for something new to be built that will serve you, that will be in use, that will be sort of like a rejuvenated, fresh energy, whereas this is sort of like it's not serving anyone. I feel like you're going through a very significant process. It does also feel like it's destroying some sort of devil energy. Like, because I feel like there's something here where it's like, this came up in the last reading, I think, for Cancer or Aquarius. I can't remember now, but it was talking about like, sometimes we develop patterns that, become maladaptive, right? Like, in order to like dampen tough energies or like or distractions or like whatever it is. This kind of feels like this is a pattern of behavior that may be developed as a way to try to like dampen or mitigate some sort of stressful energy, but that it wasn't built properly. Like, what's coming through is like I'm almost seeing like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like, it wasn't upright. It wasn't necessarily built properly. And so I don't know why I'm saying that word really strangely today. Properly. it wasn't built properly. It wasn't upright. It wasn't, maybe it wasn't true to your sovereignty or something like that. Like, it does feel kind of like a pattern of behavior or something that wasn't serving you. It's like you're, what I'm seeing here is that like you're breaking down the tower in order to build the temple. And the temple is something that is connected to spirit, right? It's an alignment. It connects you to the sacred. There is a very spiritual aspect coming through with this. And so just to relate this back to what I was getting at the beginning about how this could be related to relationships, right? So let's say in the past you or this other or whatever engaged in relationships that were that were perhaps not in alignment with your highest good, is just how I'm going to phrase that. Only take that if it resonates for you, Scorpio, but it's kind of like the tower was leaning, right? It wasn't in alignment. It wasn't in your highest good. Maybe it satisfied something that you needed, but it wasn't the best way to go about that or something like that. And it could be a job. This could be a relationship, whatever it is. It feels like that is what's being cleared. And what you're creating instead is the temple, which is coming through as the sanctuary, the shrine, the altar. Okay, we are quick to distance ourselves from the sacred, assuming we must expend much effort in order to arrive there. Yet the temple is a universal and omnipresent energy, accessible in the highest and lowest, richest and poorest of places. Visiting the temple might be as simple as stepping into the dappled light of the forest, slowly and sensuously kissing a lover, or closing your eyes to travel inward. This card is a call to re-examine what you pay homage to and what you reject. What do you spend your time worshipping? What barriers do you draw between yourself and the sacred? Perhaps there is room on your altar for something new, something surprising. Offer it to the heavens. Reverence for all is what's coming through with this. I feel like there's a very strong spiritual aspect that's connected to this. And accepting of all, whatever that is. It really is talking about embracing wholeness for you. Yeah, you have 4 of Swords and the 2 of Wands. Peaceful acceptance is what's coming through with this, and making plans. I do feel like there is this like 2 of Wands energy that feels very like optimistic and hopeful and looking forward to the future in whatever way that is for you. Perhaps you are making some sort of plan, or you have ideas, or you're brainstorming. That could also be a 2 of Wands energy. Like, it's an energy of ideation, of exploring different ideas or pathways. But it is coming through with this like optimistic attitude. Like, where can I go next? What can I do next? The lovers. The lovers. They're the lovers reunited. That's what's coming through with this. It's a sacred energy. I don't know what else to say about it. I feel like for you, Scorpio, there's like this is an energy that just brings peace, is really what's coming through here. And optimism and hope is really strongly what I'm getting with this card. Especially like because you have sort of like the World and the High Priestess, these 2 major cards that are surrounded by the Tower and the Devil, which I feel like are very tough energies, right? Like these are on either end of the Lovers in this case. So it's coming through as being like the kind of hope and optimism that comes with like feeling very secure and safe in, I don't know, in your physical maybe, but more importantly, I feel like in this case, spiritually, like feeling very secure and knowing that everything is going to be okay and that whatever happens, you can get through it. It's like it's the shadow elevated. That's what's coming through here. Like understanding that you are protected and that you know how to protect yourself. And that you can work through any challenge, even if there is something that happens that comes through with the devil or the underworld. Like, you can get through it. That's what's coming through with this. I feel there is a lot of hope that's coming out of this. The moon. You have so many majors here. Okay. I feel like there is something here because you have the moon and the high priestess, right? This moon energy is so interesting because it because it almost looks like a younger version of the high priestess. So this feels like shadow work for sure. And with the lobster, because this is coming through as a symbol for the subconscious, right? Like something that's hidden very deep within that I feel like you're bringing to the surface, right? And perhaps also transmuting or changing or it's really feeling like transmuting, because what's interesting is that this is a cooked lobster. This lobster is cooked, right? Like it's not, the lobster is not living in this picture because they're not bright red like this when they're alive, which is a very interesting image to come through with this. I don't know, maybe there's some aspect of like the past. It is also coming through with like nourishing the subconscious in some way. Like, so there it's feeling very much like security, like some aspect of your security that, again, so it could be root chakra related with the red color. It could have something to do with like your sense of belonging or safety or like your roots. It could have something to do with family or like your physical home or like patterns that could have developed subconsciously in terms of like what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure, what makes you feel like comforted. Like you could be working with that kind of energy at the moment, Scorpio, or like that's sort of what you're accepting as part of your wholeness, right? Because I feel like there's something here, especially with the devil. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It could also be just like physical things that keep us grounded, right? Like our jobs, our physical body keep us grounded, or like certain habits and routines that make you like give you a sense of security and patterns and very Saturn-like energies that can come through like restriction or rules. Not always a bad thing. We need that in order to feel safe, right? Like I feel like there's something like that that's coming in for you, like understanding even like the sacredness of things like having a routine every morning or having like a pattern or having something that gives you a sense of safety or security. Like I feel like that's what's coming through with this. And I feel like with the Tower out here that perhaps there were things that you were doing as a routine or a habit that weren't serving you, that were actually taking you further away from the sacred. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Whatever that is. Either way, it doesn't matter, because I feel like that's what's ending, or that's what has ended, or that's what you're overcoming. Can we get one more card? Yeah, Eight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. You have, can I get one more card for the Eight of Swords? Temperance. Okay, so many majors out here. And you have Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I feel like the Eight of Swords might have been something where it was preventing you from seeing your own worth, right? Like it could be any sort of pattern where it's like you don't see yourself clearly. There's a lack mentality, a feeling of being stuck or not knowing what to do. I feel like that's what's changing. That is what is being transmuted here with the Temperance energy, because I feel like there's something here where it's almost like not seeing what the problem was. Maybe you're still in that, and that's okay, because I feel like with the moon here, what's coming through is that, like, because this card is coming through with this energy of like the sap of the moon plant, which is, I'm going to read it. I'm not using this deck today, but I'm going to read the description of that card, because I feel like that's what you're working with at the moment, Scorpio. 1 second, let me find it. Where is it? 1 second. Okay. So it says nocturnal sacred water of the unconscious. Sap of the moon plant is an ancient substance said to be born of water, plant, and moonlight. This elixir develops in the depth of night and is thus a metaphor for the wellspring of the unconscious. When this alchemical magic is afoot, it's all about dreams. The answer you are seeking will not come from the intellect, nor the opinion of others. It will surface from the depths, as if rising from the ancient waters of your memory. The work is to rest, restore, and awaken your celestial senses. Do this by pausing, by releasing your grip. The sap of the moon plant signifies you are in a deep territory of destiny and the imagination. This is a mythic moment. The dream is waiting to show itself, but awaits your sincere invitation. Ask and rest. All will be revealed. It is feeling kind of like something will be revealed that through your subconscious. So really pay attention to your dreams in this case. You have Dark Man and the Cane. Pay attention to your health. So the Devil may have something to do with your health, or your physical body. There may be pain that you're being asked to like focus on or pay attention to. You have Firecracker Excitement. You have Dark Woman. Dark Woman and Dark Man. Dealing a relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. September, which we are in right now. And Beau, you were highly thought of. Color red again is coming out. You have Spiritual Love at the bottom of the deck. This Eight of Swords energy that's coming through is kind of like that feeling of like, at the beginning, that feeling of rejection, of like feeling like, oh, that person's too busy for me, or that person is, I don't know. it's coming through with lack mentality, right? Like, it's like not seeing your worth or not seeing some truth about yourself. Panther. I know this card is going to come out. This is the shadow work card, right? Like, that's what this card is talking about. I feel like you're in it right now, Scorpio. You're doing the shadow work. Shark and cobra. Sorry for laughing. The shark is an energy of the unconscious and fear. There's so much here. Like, it's like you're in the midst of facing your fears. But with the cobra here, this is like a very reassuring card. You may want to watch the last reading, the Cancer reading, because the cobra came out in that one as well, which is a card about the teacher. The teacher appears when the student is ready. And so there may be something here about, like, maybe you have been afraid of something, but it's like you're finally ready to face your fears about something, and this is the guide or the teacher who's going to help you through that. And it's feeling like it's feeling very like reptilian here, right? Like it feels like very, very strong fears that are coming through with this that you're facing. The message that comes through with the shark as well is that it always like seems scarier than it actually is. Sorry. Can I get one more card for Scorpio? The cheetah. Firecracker, excitement energy. There's some, like... The cheetah talks about passion and purpose and drive and motivation and movement, right? It's like when you're driven by passion and purpose, nothing can stop you. Like, that's what's coming through with this. Maybe there is or was a fear about going after something that you're passionate about, or like following your purpose can be very scary. Like, there's something about that's coming through with this, and maybe this is something where it's like in the past, maybe you may have rejected this or said no to it, or things that weren't in alignment for you, or whatever it is. Like, but it's feeling like that's what's changing. What's coming through here is that, like, in facing your fear, there's this burst of energy that comes through. Like, this is also coming through with being like, this is when Hercules emerges from the underworld as a god, right? Like, that's what's coming through with this. I feel like, Scorpio, for some of you, there was this period of time where you were in the underworld. And if that's the case for you, it's like this is the time where you emerge from that. You have Nightingale and the Lion, yeah. Because the Lion in this deck talks about mastery over fire. A mastery over fire doesn't waste their energy on anything. This is a very powerful combination here with the cheetah and the lion. You may want to watch the last Leo reading, which I will link above. But there's also something here about action that is aligned with, like, sacred divine energy. It's really feeling like taking actions towards your purpose. And I feel like what you have here, the Nightingale, which is very interesting to come out with this, is that the Nightingale talks about the throat chakra and the heart, like the connection between throat and heart, where it's about expressing your desires and like how that can have a healing effect. So I feel like there's something here. You have crocodile at the bottom of the deck where like this is what's changing. I feel like maybe there was something for you, Scorpio, where it's like there was something in your subconscious that feels like it was crying out for attention. Like you needed to pay attention to this, and it feels like it could have something to do with like your health or your stability or your security or what makes you feel safe or what makes you feel comforted or something to do with that, like root chakra energy. Like it was crying out for you to pay attention to. And it's like as soon as you do that, because I feel like whatever that is for you, like this feeling of being I don't know, like it's feeling like safety or like something that has to do with like a basic need that you have, but that for some reason, maybe because of trauma or pain, that this need was neglected by you because there like something to do with like the devil, right? Like either like there was pain or heartache or past patterns that weren't serving you that like made you feel like you can't have this, or you whatever it is, like you don't, like negative things that we can tell ourselves, like you don't deserve happiness, like you don't deserve to be loved or whatever, like that kind of negative energy that like maybe forced you to be separated from something that you want to be connected to. And I feel like what's changing here is that like you're in facing your fear about that, there's all of this like movement and passion and purpose that is almost like freed, right? Like the devil is freeing the lovers, and part of that involves being able to express your heart and what's on your heart and how you feel and what you desire and all of that. That's what's healing. It's almost like this explosion of like passion and purpose and expressing what you desire. That's what's coming through for you, Scorpio. It's really lovely. And I feel like there were some significant fears and lack mentalities that you are breaking through. So I'm going to leave it there. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.